How's it going, everybody? It's cool. I'm doing a show. It's just like doing a show for like my people almost, right? The LGBT community, that's cool. There's no one more supportive than the LGBT. There's no one more supportive than the LGB community. No one. That's what I always say. There's no one more supportive than the LG community. But we don't want to get sued by a Korean electronics manufacturer, so let's really be accurate here. There's no one more supportive than the G community, right? A great bunch. And this, like, you can all act nice. I know what you're all about. Because they did a study, this university, this is a thing I read. They interviewed 1,000 people whether or not they date a transgender person. 92% no. Yeah, right? That's nobody. That's only 8% that would. That's 80 out of that 1,000 people that would. Sounds like nothing. That's lonely. That's 8 out of 100. It's still nobody. But keep breaking it down. Lowest common denominator. 2 out of 25. Oh, that's just jumped up in my favor. I'm just gonna guess there's 25 people in this room. Hey, everybody, 2 people want to fuck you. Isn't that great? I was gonna put some pep in your step. It's a good room, right? Like, go online right now. You can find these legions of guys who are ready to go shoot up the mall because nobody wants to fuck them. 0 out of 25. I like my 2. What that study doesn't tell you is that of that 8% that would date a transgender person, about 99.9% are some of the creepiest, most unfuckable loser weirdos who will ever have the misfortune to meet. Just the dregs of humanity. It's the worst people to ever walk from their computer to the fridge and back again. Awful. You can't. Don't pat yourselves on the back too much, because it's like I do shows a lot of the time. It's like these guys, right? And they look at me, and some of them will not even listen by the time I go up, because they'll be, oh, this is just going to be feminist PC bullshit. Like, they don't even know that feminists can't stand me either, right? Like, a lot of the women will look at me. They'll be like, what are you doing on a stage? You, a person who's lived with some male privilege in your life. Well, what are you going to tell me about my life, huh? And so I'll concede you that point. But I will also tell you this, that I traded in that male privilege card for the privilege of making taking a shit a terrifying experience for the rest of my life. I've got IBS. So I'll be in and out of there all day long, whether you fucking want me to. So fuck you. I don't know if if anyone's thinking about transitioning and haven't, I would really recommend stand-up comedy as a great avenue for you. Because people are going to stare at you all the time anyways. So you may as well dedicate some time out of your day to just like make them stare at you. Because it'd be weird if like everyone's just staring at this guy while I'm up here, and you'd be like, fuck, this is a weird show. So you do it here, everyone has to look at you. There's no choice. It's like people give like the weirdest looks, right? Like you walk into a restaurant, right? I'll be walking through and people just give me a look like I'm gonna squat over their table, just take a shit right on their face. Just because we made the same dining choices. I don't understand it. Like, if you want to know what it's like if you've ever taken a whole bunch of edibles and then go to Walmart. Just make it more interesting for yourself. And you might be walking through and you're thinking, it's like, holy shit, you get paranoid, right? Everyone's talking about you, everyone's looking at you. And you have that moment of clarity where you calm yourself down, like, I'm just really, really high. No one's talking, no one's looking at me, you bring yourself back to life. That's kind of what my life is like, except I don't get that reassurance of just being high. I'm high and they're looking at me. So I'm walking through, I see that nice old lady, and I'm like, just nice old lady. I get a little bit closer, and I can just see her elbowing the person she's with when she noticed me. Right? I thought you were a nice old lady, but you're a rotten old hag. How hard it is to tell the difference sometimes. You must be a shapeshifter. What's going on in the queer community. Calgary and Edmonton getting rid of conversion therapy, y'all. No more will religious people send their kids to a camp where they can, who are just a little bit different, so they can get rid of those urges through the power of prayer and learn to become good, God-fearing, miserable, hateful sacks of shit like the good Lord intended us all to be. Which is good news that you can't do that anymore. But I always thought conversion therapy, just from like a concept, seemed really stupid. Like, how could that work? Like, you're gonna, just this logic. It's just like the religious people logic. It's like, here's my kid, they're different, they have these urges, right? They're different than everybody else. So my idea to make them not feel these things is to send them to a place where they're bunked up with a bunch of kids their age, feeling the same urges. Like, basically what I'm saying is, if it works, you let it work. You know, it's because, I don't want to say it's because you're weak, but I'm talking shit, but like personally, I think I could have withstanded it. Because before I started, my transition, I was a straight acting gay guy, and so I had straight acting jobs, right? I worked in construction and warehouses and production facilities and stuff in Calgary, Alberta, it was some of the best in this province. And if it's just a bunch of hateful, homophobic bullshit, that was just Monday to Friday for most of my 20s. And none of those shit companies ever got me laid, so bring back conversion therapy, everybody. Just kidding. I love you all very much. Thank you so much.